What's up, guys? Welcome back. Xyber here, your Tech and Games Crusader, and we are back. The last video we did comparisons for the technologies from the AYN Odin Pro Generation 1 to what the AYN Odin 2 Max or Odin 2 Series is. So this time we're going to do more in depth as far as comparisons between the quality of the case. They're both Tomtoc, but they're designed a little bit differently. And we're also going to get into the actual system itself a little bit more than what we did in just comparison's sake for the first video of how far has AYN evolved in one generation. The one mystery in all of this that I have is, why did I receive this whenever this just has outright the blade connector for the typical US plug? I mean, this seems like it was the possibility for the Super Dock, because that's what it was within the Odin Pro, because you had a 65-watt charger that you had to plug this thing into. And we're also going to talk about the screws on here if you want to do a back plate or back panel swap, like I'm going to show you how I'm going to do. First off, your main connector here for the screws on the back of the AYN Odin 2 are going to be a Torx 5 or T5 bit. And the only tools that I used is just a guitar pick and a wedge. And I'll show you exactly the easiest place to start and access for doing this. So it may take some trial and error, but I'll be able to get it done. So here is the original Odin case. You have your felt. It's like a microfiber felt foam for the screen cover protection. Then for all of your memory cards, you could do from this 6 micro SD, or technically 8, but you could also use something else over here. But the benefit was this is thicker. You have net up here to hold your cable or something like that without it interfering in the space of where the system sets. I'm kind of disappointed in that, you know, the Odin Pro, you could be able to get this crystal protector shell, and it works great for what it is. It gives a little bit more thickness for larger hand use. But let's take a look and see what they did for the Odin 2. By the way, this is what I'm changing out the back plate to. I'm going to create my own Sega Ice edition. So I have a Dreamcast that is a blue bottom and a clear top. And I'm going to mimic that with this. I also have the PSP 3001 from Japan that has the white front with the blue accent buttons and the blue back. So yeah, this is something I requested for them to charge me extra for. You know, I was basically like, hey, I ordered the Odin Pro, and I ended up ordering, whenever you put on your website, the case to be able to get the clear white, so I could do a half and half on it. But I've changed it back since I'm getting ready to upgrade to this after I finish all of my testing comparisons with the dock and everything. I'm sending it to my friend in California. So I was asking them, well, you charge $60 for the case on the Odin and the Odin Pro and the Lite for the first gen, so could I just basically have you charge me a little bit extra, or basically not refund me the difference in the overcharge on the fees that were set through initially? Because before the fees and everything came through, this was $408 for this, the SuperDock case, and we're going to talk about this thing. This is a TPU skin. And, you know, that's a really good deal because I was a super vacker on the original Odin Pro. So I was like, can you just charge me an upcharge for being able to get a case for the Odin 2? Get a clear blue case. It's like, well, it's going to be difficult to change out the front panel, so we can just send you the back panel only. And that's what they did. So it was cheaper that way than getting a full $60 case separate. So it was like $34, $38 or something after the upgraded VAT and everything. So yeah, now I can be able to two-tone in the same way as what you would find on the N64 Japanese consoles. Like the Japanese Ice for the Nintendo 64 had the teal and the ice white on the bottom. Or like on my Dreamcast, like I said, I did the two tones. And I'm excited to do that. But here's the detriments, I think, of this case design. First, let's go over the positives for each case. Positive on this one, it's large to be able to hold more than just the console. You can hold your cable, you can hold your charge brick, you can hold, can't hold the dock because the super dock for the original was massive. But you could hold extra things in there, like you could put something else in here. This was a $20 upgrade. But it was included in the super pack, is what it was called on the Odin Pro. So the detriments to this case is, yes, it's larger. It's not going to be able to go in a pocket as easy as just the console itself. The positives on this is it's slimmer, it's form-fitting, it's still EVA foam, so it's impact resistant. And it is actually formed out for your analog sticks and for your buttons and your D-pad. This is upgraded. So in the original, this was a felt, and on here, this is a not quite velvet, but kind of a short plush microfiber. You can see I can move my finger and it'll change the same way it is. Any of those type of things would. I'll turn some more light on here, just so I'm not having my phone catch all of the light on the camera. Alright, so here's the detriments to this. You don't have storage space for a cable in here. You don't have, in this had Velcro on it, so that it could be able to attach right here to hold this down, to hold your system in. Whenever you open it up, your system wouldn't just fall out. It's not quite a mechanical connection, but it is a connection nonetheless, and it's better than nothing. So on the Odin 2 case, This is just in here so that you set the system down. I'll show you just with the back plate here. You can set the system down and it just makes it easier to rise the system out. That's all. It does have a lot of flex to it, so it doesn't take an impact as well as the padding on this. They're both EVA foam, like I said. Also, you don't have any memory card places on this to be able to hold down. You do have larger zipper runs to connect, so it's easier to just rip and zip. Alright, let me pause it and I'll be right back. Okay, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. I was just putting everything away just to be able to get this out and show you without any distraction of anything else in the way. We already discussed about the packaging differences between the Odin Pro and the Odin 2 series. Let's go ahead, get it from the corner here. So you can see the clear improvements that have been done on this. I happen to have my Mr. Shield premium tempered glass screen protectors, and this is for the Odin Pro. We're going to see how close it gets to being able to fit into the Odin 2, and if it's just going to be worth it to do so instead of waiting or paying more for a newer product made for the Odin 2. Let's wipe our screen down. Alright, just dry it. Alright. And let's see if we have any bubbles. Alright, it made it that far without any help. Here's our bubble remover card. Hopefully we didn't get any bubbles. And we didn't. Nice. This is why I prefer using these over the one that came with it. Other than the fact of the one that came with it has this cutout on here, which it does not need. So yeah, so go ahead and wipe it over. Let's get the dry one here. Apply a little bit of pressure so we can get the place right there where that it didn't quite want to stick well. The other reason I like these is because they're 2.5D corners, so they're just slightly rounded. It covers all but the very minimal top and bottom for the one that was used for the Odin Pro. Which you can see on here covers the same exact amount, but it's not noticeable and it doesn't really matter because it's just the edge of a bezel. Okay, so what is this monstrosity, or whatever you want to call it, as far as grip or a cover? I'll tell you what it is. It's an abomination. I'll tell you why. One, the seam on here is more open in the back, and part of it covers up the front edge of the vents. I'll show you. The bottom of it's fine. It's just the top of it. And the reason I would rather have had this console have a crystal clear shell protector than this. See, it's more prevalent on the back side than it is on the front. And if you try and pull it down to where it's even with the edges of the screen or the bezels of the screen, you have to force it in. But other than that, look how close this is to the buttons. And these should have been open holes for these buttons rather than covers. I mean, they left an open hole for the power button because it has a fingerprint sensor on it. They left these open. Why did they cover these? I don't know. Because look what it does. It covers up your microphone. The opening for the microphone hole, you have to stretch it out to be able to have it actually be large enough for your microphone. I mean, I don't know who would ask for a TPU / silicone type material grip over something that, you know, gives impact absorption. This is polycarbonate. It's impact. I mean, I understand drops and stuff like that. But if it's just going to bounce, I feel like it needs ribbing or something on the inside of it to give an actual like air cushion effect for protection. I mean, I won't be using it, but I've got it in case I wanted to. This is basically just going to be a storage space for this back white shell after I remove it out and swap it on. So let's go ahead and get into that. Alright, so we got our handheld. You can see what screws are here. We got 4 T5 Torx head screws. They're not super torqued down. People always like to make fun of my thumbs. I've broken a lot of fingers on both hands, so I also have something called Ehlers-Danlos. So I've had dislocations or subluxings in joints quite often. So if you wish to make fun of my thumbs or have questions or comments about my thumbs, there's your answer. Watch the video. Don't just start making comments based on something you see as a picture or skipping through. You'll find out more that way. Alright, we got all 4. So, this is the area that I start out with. Because you have your speaker, and it's a dual chamber speaker box right here. You want to go right about here. Use a wedge or a fingernail. Fingernail actually works better. There we go. So once you got it right there, you just work your way across the bottom. You'll feel it loosen the clips right there. Get on the other side of the audio plug. Just a slight wiggle sideways for it to loosen there. And then work your way over to the side. And what I usually do right here is grab your guitar pick Alright, got it a little bit more open. Got that corner open. I'm going to turn it around now, so I'm not turning the system on. Let's use the ledge again. It's hard to do this through a viewfinder, so bear with me. Do all my editing on my phone, so I don't easily have the ability to just speed up video. Very, very strong vibration motors, which you're getting ready to see where they are located. Sorry, my grip is failing me right now because the console exterior is very slick. Alright, now that you've got the bottom undone, the top is just going to come loose. There's our buttons for our M or macros. Here's your vibration motor, here's your vibration motor. They're attached to these diffusion bars that let the LEDs become more vibrant and carry further from their centralized locations. So the easy way to do this is to set these in first. Because on the Odin 2, you don't have to worry about your triggers and everything coming loose like you did on the Odin Pro. Take a look here, you can see the battery is a 30.8 watt hour or 8,000 milliamps per hour. Here is your dual chamber speaker, or dual resonance chamber speaker rather. So you got a little impact pad right there. You got 2 screws holding the speaker in. This one's attached to the board right there, and this one's attached underneath this daughter board. And just so you know, these are Hall effect magnetic triggers. They're linear analog triggers. There's a magnet right under here, and it impacts down there. See, it's on the inside right there. It's where your magnet is. So you don't have to worry about trying to flip this over onto this. Just lay it down like this. And there's your buttons already inserted. And the cool thing is, you don't need to have the screws in this for it to stay together. I've only got one more clip left, and it's right here. I'm going to put it sideways here so I can get even pressure. There we go. Now it just looks like it came that way. And it looks amazing. And also, if you wanted to lay this flat, these do come off, because that's how you replace them. So you can see how they're keyed. It's an oval, up and down. Alright, now let's put this where I said I was going to put it, over here inside this grip. And let's put these screws back in. So as I was speaking about and discussing the differences and everything between the Odin Pro Gen 1 and the Odin 2 series, the factors of what's going to make this a standout handheld for the next 3 to 5 years far outweigh anything else that's going to come out on the market, because currently the Android operating system is just now getting into things that can handle like super sampling and ray tracing and AI, and this is already equipped to handle that stuff. I mean, that's not to say that the next thing that comes out, it won't handle it better or more efficiently. But most of the people that's going to buy this handheld, they only care about emulation anyways. And as far as emulation goes, there would have to be great strides in progress or new emulation coming to Android to really have any functional probability of this losing performance on anything that's currently out. And those are all locked in. And there you go. So, how are you supposed to handle this? They want you to just put it in like this and have this strap underneath it to where this lifts the console out easier. I can already tell you, you're not fitting this in here anywhere unless you want to break your screen. And you're not fitting your cable in here either, unless you want to break the screen. So they just want you to put it in here like this, slide this over it, just throw that in there, nothing to hold it in, and just do that. I mean, yeah, it's pocketable for cargo shorts, cargo pants. This time of the year, that's a popular thing. But that's not really ideal. And just so you guys can see, these are the Skull & Co., the white. We'll see how these fit, so you can be able to see how much height it will benefit you or provide to you. I mean, these are the ones I was using on my Odin Pro. But I think these may be what would work best on here. If you've not used these before. By the way, the sticks, the size of the sticks on the Odin 2 are around the same size as the sticks on the PS Vita. Slightly larger heads, but it's roughly the same size. See, these are very loose. And these are made for Joy-Cons. So let's see if these fit. These fit a little bit better, but they still just come right off. Let's check these, the ones that have the high texture and the thicker. They fit better. There's a lot more grip on it now. Now you could actually have it fill in the space under that. Give me a bit, guys. I'll be back. Okay, guys, we're back. Sorry, I had to catch a breather, get some water. It was way too hot down here in the workshop. Fan is blowing. It's 42 degrees outside, but somehow with no airflow down here, it's just like there's no outside airflow. So it's just circulating the room heat from above that's making it feel like a furnace. So continuing on, the improvements and changes in the software between Android 10 on the Odin Pro to Android 11 on the Odin 2, well, you get some quality of life features that just kind of are unmatched, really. Here's the new boot logo, just so you can see. And of course, I haven't charged it in 3 weeks. Here's the boot logo for the original Odin, which matches down here. And there's a lot more animation to the new boot logo. First off, just like the original, you have the option to be able to go for AOSP, or the official Android default launcher that's required for any development, or you can do the Odin launcher, which is your typical import handheld that already has games attached to it, looking simplified design. This is what I use, this is what I have to use, this is what I prefer to use. Then you have navigation bar style. I've never been a fan of navigation gesturing. I like 3-button navigation. It's just easier and it's more straightforward, and you have more functions with it than trying to work and mess around your fingers all over the screen for gesture navigation. So here's your default looking options and icons that you have on here. So under network and internet, you got your internet connection, airplane mode, hotspot, and tethering, which the Odin Pro didn't have it, but the Odin Lite had a SIM card in it that you could be able to run mobile data on. I wish they did a version of this called the Odin 2 5G, just that has that function as well. VPN. It's nice that it's already there. Connected devices, you got Bluetooth. 5.3 on this, 5.0 on this, Wi-Fi 7 on this, Wi-Fi AC on this, or 5, dual band. Battery, 48%. I will warn you now, this thing has some strong haptics. I don't use haptics. I don't care for vibration. It's just a battery waster. Something that Sony's tried to sell you an entire console on for the PS5. Their dual sense controller, which is trash for battery life. You got sounds. How did it... I'll be back, guys. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Went ahead and I got Wi-Fi set up on here and stuff, and brightness is down. And went ahead and set up the menus here for stuff. Change it to dark mode. And the biggest feature change in this from the Odin Pro first generation is PD fast charging 5.0. What does that do? Well, it lets this thing charge very fast. We're at 47%. The other thing it has is charging separation. So charging separation, basically what it is, when you enable this, it won't overcharge your battery. So it doesn't, if you have it plugged in, it's not going to charge the system at all. So this amount won't ever increase whenever charging separation is on. So what you want to do is you charge up your battery to like 97, 98%. Then you turn on charging separation. And you can leave it plugged in and it's not going to damage your battery or the handheld. Other than, you know, somebody coming by and knocking this off or something like that. But for this video, I guess that's going to wrap this up. And in the next one, we'll cover some of the things that I advise for being able to test performance of this more than what other applications would really be able to take advantage of, to see what kind of performance we're actually working with in this. So if you enjoyed this video, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the description below. If you have any comments of the internet nature that you just want to be a deliberate individual, you can leave them. That doesn't mean I'm going to let them be posted, because I do screen all comments so that I make sure that everything stays clean on the channel. But yeah, guys, like I said before, I am severely looking forward to being able to see how much improvement I get in development, certification, and verification times and transfers from the Odin Pro to the Odin 2 Max. So, thanks for watching, guys. Xyber Knight, your Tech and Games Crusader. Hope you guys have a good night, good day. Take care. See you later.